This is Gemara Avodah Zarah Daf Chof Beis, and we're holding on the bottom of Chof Aleph Amid Beis, the first wide line, as the Gemara says, Tanya. Says the Gemara, getting the camera in order. There we go. Tanya, we learned in the Brayser of Shimon Elazar Aimer teaches Rabbi Shimon Elazar Le'ashkim on the Zadeh Lekut. You're not allowed to rent your field to Gaim Nishnikers Al Shemai because he's and he's going to work Al Chalamayid, and it's Nikol Al Shemai. Everyone know that this is a Yitz field, and therefore that's the reason why it is a problem. Aval Aka Mai Shari. What's the reason that a guy you are allowed? You are allowed to rent him a field. Excuse me. Aval Aka Mai. What's the din about a guy? Shari, it's mutter. Why? In the last line, the Amri Arisa Risase Ovid. Because people are going to say he's a sharecropper just doing his sharecropping duties. And they're not going to think that it's actually Nikra Shema Shal Yisrael. Ask the Gemara, but if that's true, Yachi Kudinami Amri Arise Arisase Ovid, why can't we say the same thing by a Kuti? Explains the Gemara as we turn over to Chav Beis and Aleph. Arusasa l'Rav Shimon Elazar Leslie. Shimon Elazar does not hold that people are going to assume that it is Arisas. Elaka my time of mutter. So if that's the case, so why is it mutter for a guy? Why is it mutter to rent the field? To the guy, explains the Gemara, Darmina Lei. The reason is because we can tell him not to work and he's going to listen. Since we're confident he's not going to work, there's no reason to not rent the field. But if that's the case, ask the Gemara in the third, like, why don't we say you can tell the guy the same thing and he'll listen? Explains the Gemara, Kuti Lotayis, the guy's not going to listen. The Amar Anagamar Tvei mi nach. A Kuti's not going to listen because the Kuti thinks I am more learner than you, and therefore we're worried he's going to work it on Chol HaMoed. Ihachi explains the Gemara, if this is the case, Ma'ariv Nation Nigas Al Shemai, why is it concerned that it's called in the name of the Yeh, Tepeklei, Misham Lifnei Iver, Lo Yisitein Michshal. The problem is Lifnei Iver. You're causing them to do work, which is Asar, Chol HaMoed. Explains the Gemara, you're right. Chada v'oid kamer. Chada Misham Lifnei Iver. Number one, the problem is Lifnei Iver. Void, and number two, Nation Nigas Al Shemai. Continues the Gemara and goes a little bit deeper into going working for you on Shabbos. Hanu Marukai. There were these people who grew plants, saffron, da'akum, naked, b'Shabbat, and they took on Shabbat. The guy decided they're going to work on Shabbos. Yisrael b'Chav Shabbos, and they're going to work on Sunday. Also, Rava says this arrangement is mutter. Esvei Ravina Rava asks Ravina. Yisrael v'Akum shekiblu sada v'shotvis. Lo yomer Yisrael yinala selakum tol chalkecha b'Shabbos. You take the portion of Shabbos, and I v'ani b'chol. V'mestu mitchila, then it's mutter. And v'imbaol l'cheshbon, they come to make a calculation. Also, you're not allowed to say you're b'davka taking Shabbos, and I'm b'davka taking Sunday. So ask the Gemara, ask Ravina to Rava, why by us would that be allowed? Explains the Gemara, Echsif. Rav was embarrassed. Explains the Gemara, L'saif. In the end, the Gloy Milsa, the Hestu Meikar Avai, there was indeed a tonight at the beginning, therefore there was nothing wrong with that which they did. Says the Gemara, a different story, a different version of the story. Rav Givim Bibi Kisil Amr Amri Hanu Shtili da Arla Havai. These people were utilizing plants of Arla. Akum Achal Shnei da Arla. Goyim ate the fruits of Arla, and Yisrael Shnei da Teira, the permissible fruits. Ask me the Rava, and Rava said Sharule. I asked the Gemara Basi Ravina the Rava, but we just saw that Ravina asked the Kasha to Rava. Says the Gemara, no, L'siyua. Ravina said the Bryce says a Raya to Rava. But we know the story, he was embarrassed. Says the Gemara, no, lahadam, that part of the story never happened. And we wrap up this parak with one last shayla. Yibayu asked the Gemara 4 lines at the end of the parak, stamamai. What's the halacha if it was stam? They didn't make any clear arrangement who's taking which days of the working of the field. Says the Gemara, Mishnah Mitzchila Mutter, Hastama is Aser. But Ema Seifa, and Balach Hashvin Aser, Hastama is Mutter. Almihalek Lamashmina, can't bring a raya from here. Hajon Alach L'Neidehem, credible first barak of Avodah Zarah. Chazara is certainly in order. And now we continue with the second parak. Ein ma'amidim behema bebundaka shel arkim. You're not allowed to even put an animal in a goyisha inn. Why? Neshachashudin al ravia. We're worried that the goyim are going to sleep with the animal. You're not allowed to put a woman, allow them to have yichud with a guy. Neshachashudin al rahayis. And no person can be miyachid with them. Neshachashudin al shvichas damim. You have to be worried that the guy might kill them. And with that, we turn over to Chavez Amid Beis, Says the Gemara V'Reminu, I'll ask you a contradiction. Loichen me'em behema likarban. You're allowed to buy an animal as a carbon. Vein chayshin, l'misham ravev, l'misham nirva, that it was slept with. L'misham moksav, l'misham nevad, that it was set aside as an idol, or it was worshipped as an idol. So says the Gemara 4 lines down, Bishlam moksav and nevad. We are not suspectful that this animal is an idol. Why? If the guy made this into an idol, if the guy bowed down to this Betsy the cow, they would never sell it to the Yid. But we see that there is a concern that the guy might sleep with the animal. So how can we say that we're not worried about that? It's not true. If it's the goyish animal, he's never going to sleep with it. Why? Never will have relations, because by doing such as we've seen, makes the animal not be able to have children, makes the animal sterile. Says the Gemara, very good, but that's only true by nekevos. Zacharim, by male animals, it weakens, it makes the meat deteriorate, so therefore we can assume the Goyim will not do such. May Rayishal buy an animal from their shepherd, we have to worry that the shepherd might have had relations with the animal shalad. Explains the Gemara. Excuse me, that was part of the Teretz. May Rayishal lechosh. Dilma Revala answers Gemara. No, the shepherd is afraid because it's going to lose money. If anyone finds out that the shepherd slept with the animal, they'll never allow him to be a shepherd on their animal again. Elaha, the Tanya, about 12 lines to the bottom. Top, the first one is the Tanya. Ein Maisrin Behema Liraya. You're not allowed to give an animal to Raya Shalem of the Gayin, Lema Raya Shalem, Misyare, Lema. Should we not say, what's the problem giving them an animal? They're not going to do anything. Explains the Gemara, the Goyim who know about one another, they're going to have this bestiality. And therefore the shepherds are fearful. Anan, but us, they're not fearful that we're going to figure out what they're doing, but the shepherds, they are. So, my Rabba, Hainu Damri Inchi, Mekoisva Galila Baza, Ragala Bechavre Yada. This is what people say as the stylist makes marks on the marble. Ragla Bechavre Yada, slanderer knows his friend. Ihachi asked the Gemara, Zacharim Menikevais, Loi Nisvan. We should not be allowed to buy male animals from female, from women, Goyim, because maybe they had relations. The Chayshinam perhaps Tilma Mirava Lei explains the Gemara Iluye. Kivan de Migre ba Miratzcha. Kivan de Migra Miratzcha. If she had relations to the animal is going to follow and cling to her, therefore she's afraid people are going to know what she was doing. Jewish widows not allowed to raise a dog. And I understand we should not give a place for a Barbie Rav to sleep. So the reason is because there's an element of sneos, and therefore she will not have any relations. Why do we say that if she's going to have relations with the dog, why is she not concerned? The dog is going to cling with her and people will find out that what she did. Explains the Gemara, you throw some meat to Masriach Abasram, then the dog goes after the meat. The people are going to think that she threw in raw meat, meaning she's a way to cover up her ruse. Says the Gemara, and the Keva says on the Keva is my time. Why can't a female animal be in miyichod with a female guy? Goyim are often together with their friends' wives. And sometimes what's going to happen? They're not going to find the Isha's Chaver, the wife of the friend, at home. They're going to find the animals. For Raiva, they're going to sleep with the animal. Even if they find the woman Nami Raiva, they'll still sleep with the animal. The animals of the Yidin are more beloved than their wives. That they put some zuhama into her, and she passes that to all generations. Says Mayachi Yisrael Nam Yisrael Shem Dinalar Sinai Paska Zumasam Akum Shalayim Dalar Sinai Paska Zumasam. We'll pick it up from here. B'siyata Dishmai.